Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to a new MC video. So I think, but if I'm actually scheduling this correctly, this should be a day after my last video. Keep in mind, I think that for the next 3 or 4 videos, they're actually going to be recorded on the same day. But as I have to go traveling soon, I'm going to record all my videos today and upload them. I've scheduled them to upload by at the same time, so 9 o'clock every day for the next 3 or 4 days. So this upload is recorded. These uploads are going to be recorded at the same time. So this one's recorded at the same time as my mage guide. So hopefully you can forgive why it's the same thing. So today we are actually going to be doing the ultimate guide for Buzz. So Berserker, as you guys know, got heavily nerfed due to a strength nerf, which made everyone's damage, even the best players in the game, damage drastically fall. Same as sword swapping, that's also made the damage drastically fall. I'm very angry at though virus for this change because I was an archer and I could 2-shot Satan, but then giants, all these swapping things happened, so I had to change. But I understand where he's coming from, and I don't want to flame him too much because he's still a good YouTuber. I like watching his vids, so no matter how much he says, I don't know how much he flames the changes and stuff. It's still a good YouTuber. So today we're going to be doing a guide on Berserker. So I'm probably going to put timestamps in the description depending on where you are, or if you want to watch the whole thing. I would advise watching the whole thing, especially if you're a new Capcom player, so you can plan ahead instead of just watching and then coming back later. Because I can assure you, no matter what stage you are in the game, unless you're a full match player, in which you can click off this video because it's not for you, then I can help you and help upgrade you as a berserker. You may think, oh, how would you know how to be a berserker? You don't know anything. You're a electric mage. So I've actually been every class. I've tried healer before. I've been a tank for M1 parties and stuff. So I know about tank. I know about left click mage. I know a lot about berserker. I know a lot about archer. But so yeah, I know about most classes because I've played most classes. I pretty much played every class. So yeah. So a berserker, for a berserker, starting off, you want your base armor. Okay, so whatever you have in the overworld, at least. So if, for example, before you go into dungeons, you're a really rich player with superior, then use your superior. I wouldn't advise going to dungeons without at least something like strong. I think that some armor sets won't cut it. Before, a cherry machine gun plus wise armor was very good, but now that cherry machine gun's been drastically nerfed, I don't think that's a viable option anymore. So I think for the moment it's just gonna be at least for a berserker, you want your superior or strong. That's what's gonna keep you alive. Okay. Now for a pet, if you're a really rich player, you might as well buy a baby yeti off the bat, even before you start floor 1. Baby yeti or blue whale, depending on what you want. Okay. If you have a lot of HP in your armor set, for example, you want to go like half giant, half ancient, right? Because you want the HP, then go a blue whale. But if you are going to use just a standard weapon with full fierce or ancient armor, then I would highly recommend a baby yeti pet. Right now, a level 1 baby yeti without anything, so just a clean baby yeti, is going for about, let's see, a clean baby yeti is going for about 16 million coins, which, if you have superior, I generally think most people in superior could afford. If not, I mean, the blue whale is much more expensive, I think, but do not get a legendary baby yeti. A blue whale, a legendary one, which is the only good one, right, is about 18 mil. People think, oh, an epic one won't be good, but the big thing is it's got no Archimedes. So yeah. Without Archimedes, a blue whale is pretty much nothing. It still helps, but I wouldn't recommend it. Unless really you're going with a healer or a tank build, then it might work. But yeah. So moving on. As a weapon, I would recommend maybe something like. But if you don't have so much coins, just use the pet you currently use. Maybe whether that be like a bee pet, which I wouldn't actually advise using, or just an uncommon or rare blue whale just to stay alive, tiger maybe, maybe yeah, skeleton, ghoul. It's really whatever you want, really. I would recommend getting something if you want to survive better, because some people I know don't survive pretty well. A blue whale pet if you want to survive, and for damage, I would highly invest in something like a tiger. A tiger is very good because, for example, when I'm holding out this, I get 26 ferocity with a level 76 tiger, and keep in mind it's green. So yeah. If I were you, I think an epic tiger would be a viable pet, but if you're too poor to afford one, get a tiger. Just for example. So right now, a common tiger. No, I would highly recommend an uncommon because it gives 3 times the frosty and it's just a better pet overall. But there's no point in getting a rare tiger, but a epic tiger can give 50% ferocity extra, and probably put like a crochet tiger plushie. Those are very cheap. But problem with epic tiger is they're expensive, and not all players can have access to such like expensive pets at the start of their journey. Look, just the standard one is 2.4 mil, so if you can't afford that, get an uncommon one. It's better than a rare because it gives the same frosty. Hemorrhagic Saint you're never going to use, no offense. And uncommon just doesn't give enough frosty to be worth it. So I recommend getting an uncommon. Now moving on to a mid-game Berserker. This is once you've completed floor 3, okay? For every single class, once you've completed floor 3, unless really you've done like floor 5 and stuff, I would highly recommend getting your hands on some adaptive. Adaptive is such a good early game set. It's for floor 3 players. A 5-star adaptive set here gives, with no enchants, 300 HP and 140 defense. Now keep in mind, there's growth which gives 75 then plus scales. Prot gives 15 defense that also scales. Now when you're a Berserker, you get 20 strength for the boots. Okay. So you get 20 strength. I think it's the same for all the armor pieces, but honestly, yep, 20 for the helmet, 20 for the leggings, and 20 for the chestplate, right? And 20 for the chestplate. Now this set will set you back around, if you want to get 5 stars, 5 to 6 million coins. This might seem a lot, but an extra 80 strength in dungeons plus very nice EHP and already 38 base strength, it's gonna be it's gonna be a very, very nice armor set to be using, as it just keeps you alive and you deal damage with it. It's a very good weapon for, a good armor. Now, for a weapon, this might be controversial. It's really up to you, but personally, I think an adaptive blade is very good. Now, after the strength nerfs, it gives no strength, but for example, if I put it on 5 stars, adaptive blade. For 1.8 million coins, an odd adaptive blade, 520 strength, 220 crit damage, and 30 crit chance. That's not even the best reforge. Odd is nowhere near the best reforge. Plus 35 strength and 5 speed. So, this, in total, this whole set will set you back about 7.5 mil, which isn't too bad, because if you're looking to do dungeons, you need to expect to be using a lot of coins on it. Dungeons isn't cheap. Just this armor that I'm wearing right now is about 50 million coins. So dungeons is nowhere near cheap. It will be very expensive. So unless you have the coins, I wouldn't recommend trying to go up this higher. Okay. So for example, a maxed one here for 7 million coins is so broken. These swords are so broken. Trust me. These are some of the best swords, and this is one of the best swords for a lower level player like you guys. Unless of course you're a higher level player, which I'm going to talk about later. So I would highly recommend that. Now for a pet. Again, if you have a lot of coins, get a baby yeti. At this point, do not get a blue whale. I would never advise really getting a blue whale unless, of course, like I said, you're getting at least 2 pieces on giant. The baby yeti with this armor, for example, will give you about 2,000 defense, which is at level 100. If you have about at level 100, every strength is a defense point, and you should have around 2,000 strength on the boss on the end of floor 3 or 4, so about 2,000 HP. Whereas if you don't have it, I would either recommend going a tiger, which I think is a bit expensive still, or a blue whale at either the epic rarity, rarity, or the epic rarity. So at level 50, for example, so at level 100, blue whale, rare blue whale will give every 3 defense per 30 HP. And an epic one at level 100, I think, gives 3 defense every 25 HP. There is a quite big difference, but for the coin value, I'm not sure. It's really depending on if you're willing to splurge on that, because there's a million coin difference for not much of a buff. So it's up to you really, and also it's harder to level. So really, it's a big trade-off, and it's really up to you if you want to go for an epic one, or if you want to stick with the blue one, like I said before. Now, moving on, we're going to move on to once you have like a floor 5 completion. When you have floor 5 completion, if you're a very rich player, most people know what I'm going to say. Yes, you are right. I'm going to recommend a Shadow Assassin set. Shadow Assassin is some of the best and nicest armor in the game, really. It has, so let's check for 0 stars. Just plain Shadow Assassin, no stars, no nothing. But keep in mind I'm cat 26, so it scales more. 300 HP, 140 defense, 20 speed, 64 crit damage, 64 strength. That is without any reforges, enchants, stars. This is very good armor, and that's just boots, dude. Now, of course, the boots and the leggings. So the boots are about 1 million coins without stars. The helmet is about 1.5 million coins. And let's see what their leggings are standing at. The leggings are about 4 million coins. So, all in all, this set, if it's just plain, just 3/4 of it will set you back somewhere around, say, 6 to 7 million coins. Now, of course, if you want to go for a chest plate, it's going to make the set go up largely in price. As you can see, I'm scrolling here, and chest plates don't show up till 20. So a plain chest plate is 21.5 mil. Now, say you don't have enough coins. Personally, I would recommend just swapping out. Actually, it's not worth getting a chest plate. It's more worth getting that baby yeti pet, and then instead getting a zombie knight chest plate. You have to check. I think that a legendary one would be just better, because it means it's at the best quality. Make sure it's not recombobulated, because it's not the best quality. But for example, this one, 800k for this, 176 strength, 55 crit damage, massive defense, decent HP, and decent crit chance. So this is all in all. If you don't have enough coins, it's better to just go with the baby yeti and get a zombie knight chestplate. Now for your weapon, it's 2 very obvious things. So the Flower of Truth has been nerfed and buffed. The right click ability is now much better, but it's very bad now because of strength. The only reason it was a very good weapon was because of strength. It did get buffed, so I do see it as a very good weapon still for its price. For a 5-star FOT with some T6 headshots, it's about 6.5 million coins. Whereas for the other weapon I'm thinking of, is a Livid Dagger. It's about, for a 5-star one, about 12 million. So it's about double the price. Not exactly, but somewhere around. Of course, a Livid Dagger gives 100% attack speed, 100% crit chance, a lot of crit damage, a lot of strength, and mostly a lot of damage. So it is a very, very broken weapon. Mine has Wizard on it, but I think Fabled is the new best enchant apparently. I just can't be bothered really. So yeah, if you are
very rich. You have a baby yeti, you have a chest plate, and all that, and you're still wondering, what can I spend my coins on? I think you know what I'm going to talk about. One of the most broken weapons at the moment is a Shadow Fury. A 5-star. Wait, that's going for really cheap. No, I can't. That's actually really, really cheap. Wow, because 1 for all right now goes for like 20 million coins. Or maybe it died down. I don't know. But still. So for here it says it's about 20 million. But if you want a 1 for all, which is exactly what you're gonna want, if you're, let's just say 30 million, depending on when we're gonna get your build. Because right now 1 for all is broken. I think they're probably gonna nerf it. So I don't know if 1 for all is gonna be the best enchant. So you're gonna have to check back. Maybe I'll make a video if they nerf it. But for the moment it's at like, I think it's still at 30 million. Yeah, it's a 20 mil because it's the new best enchant. So going back, Shadow Fury. Sorry, my typing is a bit weird. I'm using a new keyboard. So Shadow Fury here, 20 million. It's probably gonna be like 30 million. So for a 5-star suspicious, which isn't the best move, which is okay. 1 for all. Shadow Fury. Now, if you can't see, it gives 3,000 damage. That is, for me, on my Catacomb scaling, just 1.5k damage under a giant sword. So this is pretty much a budget giant sword. This does so much damage. A lot of damage. So it's a very, very broken sword overall. They might nerf it, but I'm not so sure yet. So it's still very good. And it gives 123 speed, which is massive if you're going to be Berserker, because a Berserker needs as much speed as possible. So especially at the start of a run, 123 speed. But a Shadow Fury I would not recommend at the start unless you have a baby yeti pet and an SA chest plate, because it doesn't give lifesteal. So you still want something like a live dagger or an FOT, depending on what you want to splurge out on. Don't know how rich you are, how much coins you have, because a live dagger in the livid phase, or maybe if you're trying Satan phase, which I wouldn't. You could do, depends on your kata level really, but you'll need the lifesteal unless you have a very good tank / healer. I doubt you'll be able to get through any of these phases without lifesteal. And 1 for all replaces all enchants apart from telekinesis. So now moving on to floor 6, I would recommend, if you can't survive, full Necromancer Lord. A Necromancer Lord chestplate is about 10 million coins, and for a 5-star one, it should set you back somewhere around 14-15 million coins. Now, but slap Ancient on it, and you have, look, just from this, a 5-star, 1.3k HP and 900 defense. Now, that is very, very, very broken, my friends. Because plus Ancient, you get 100% crit chance, you get good damage. If you're, this also could mean, depending on how good you are with Catacomb skill and all that, it could mean you could stop using a baby yeti. Although I would not recommend stopping. Maybe actually you could start using a blue whale, depending on which one gives you more EHP. Because now, if you get full Necrolord, just the armor, you're going to be getting about 500 HP. Now, with a base HP of like 500, so you're getting about 5.5k to 6k at the start of a run, which personally I think is very, very good. Plus the defense is around, actually no, you'll get about 5 to 5.5k depending on your base HP and stuff, and your Catacombs level at the start of a run, right, with this Necrolord. And your defense will probably be somewhere along the lines of 3k or something around that. Keep in mind, because the way it works is, so it's your 5,000 HP, for example, times 300. So you'll get lots of EHP from this set, and with Ancient on it, it will give you a lot of like damage. Now, for a weapon, if you've way too many coins, and I mean way too many coins, you know what I'm gonna say, the Giant Sword. Currently, it's the most broken sword in the game. This, the best one here is this. 160 mil for a maxed out 5-star withered mythic, just fully maxed out one for all giant sword. So 5,000 damage in dungeons. I don't need to tell you how broken that is going to be. 5,000. My best sword, given this is like 5 million damage, has 710 in dungeons. And now hopefully you see why this is so broken. You're probably going to want Withered on it because it has no strength, base strength. So you're going to want Withered. Even if they did fully nerf strength, you're going to still want Withered. So this is just like... now why is there a guy trade requesting? Okay. Strange. So, and for the with the Necro Lord, if you don't have this coins, I would recommend staying with your Live Dagger, or if you did end up splurging on the Shadow Fury, stay with that. Now moving on to F7. The best gear, if you have lots of coins, is obviously going to be full Necron. So just the armor of Necron. The boots for 5-star is about 20 mil. The helmet is about 22 mil. The leggings are about 25 mil. Chest plate's about 45 mil. So put together, that's about 100 million or 110 million coins. I'm not very good at math. Spent on just the armor, which is a lot. But if you have a lot of coins, I would highly recommend it, as I don't think SA will cut it. Maybe Necromancer Lord, but probably not. You'll probably start dying a lot, so I would advise Necron. Now, for the sword, either keep your Livid Dagger, Giant Sword, or Shadow Fury, or if you have a lot of coins, you can switch to a Valkyrie. This, at the moment, is the most broken sword in the game. It's 514 million coins, so there's Wither Impact on it, right? I'm going to talk out a little small thing just before we're going to have to end it. And so, it's going to be Valkyrie Axe of the Shredded swapping. So that will cost you about 600 million coins, as an Axe of the Shredded is a lot of coins. So I would recommend not, if you don't have enough coins, maybe not doing this, but you can also use a Valkyrie as sort of a Hyperion. So if you have Storm, you can afford Storm and Necron. To clear, you use it as a Hyperion, and then you can just Axe the Shredded swap. So they fixed sword swapping, but the ferocity still stays. So if you have a tiger pet, and then you could just, for example, let me just show you a test, an example. Pretend that this Spirit Scepter is my Valkyrie, and this Livid Dagger is my Axe for the Shredded. So you'll hold down on it, you'll shoot 3 times, then you'll swap. Shoot. And you'll get the ferocity. And as that Valkyrie gives out 80 ferocity in dungeons, depending on your scaling and depending on your 5-star, which most of them are, you'll be plus a tiger pet, which will give you 20, and then the 50%, so about 150 ferocity. You'll be getting a lot. That's a guaranteed triple strike. Now with broken weapons and armor like this, you'll be doing millions of damage. So that's all I'm gonna have for this. Baby Yeti pet is honestly the best pet, no matter what. So no matter where you are, no matter how many coins you have, Baby Yeti. Unless you can afford Necron and like a Livid Dagger or a Shadow Fury, I would highly advise going to F7, unless you get someone who is carrying you for free, as it's not good enough armor Necromancer Lord, or SA, unless you're a very high Catacombs level. So I'm gonna end it off here. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something. Don't forget to smash a like and sub. Thanks, boys. Bye.